Hi, my name is James Shepard, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to sell multiple location businesses, how to sell merchant services to multiple location businesses. So these multi-location businesses, and it's kind of funny because I almost mentioned it earlier because we talked about salons, we talked about pizza shops. Both of those are almost always multiple location, but I wanted to make one whole video just about that. So selling a multiple location business, the main difference in selling them, there's two big things. Number one is the language that you use is different. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. There's certain words that you use that are going to set you apart. It's literally a couple words that make a huge difference in your pitch. And number two, it's a longer sales cycle time. You have to be a lot more patient to sell these larger multiple location businesses. So let's talk about the language first. We're going to get to the processing in a second. That's kind of secondary, and I'll explain why in a minute. But the first we're going to talk about is the language. So you are a vendor. So you're going to go sell multiple location businesses. You have to change how you describe yourself. You are no longer a business. You're no longer a sales rep. You're no longer a payment professional. You're a vendor. So there you go. You're a vendor. Why are you a vendor? Because they know what to do with vendors. Vendors give bids. Okay? You do not provide a proposal. You don't provide a rate quote. You don't provide a side-by-side comparison anymore. You provide a bid. So you're a vendor that provides a bid. That one little tip will probably quadruple your sales when you're selling these multiple location businesses, because you just have to know what to say. If you call up the controller, the accountant, whatever, for a multiple location business and say, hey, my name is James Shepard, I've got a local business, we offer payment processing services, and I wanted to see if I could give you a comparison of your rates, you are going to get hung up on 10 times out of 10, okay? They don't understand what you're even talking about. In their mind, they're envisioning, oh, okay, here's this little person that works out of their house. They have no money. They're desperate. They're going to be gone in 2 months, and they want to ruin my life by messing up our merchant services before they go to another state. That's what they're thinking in their mind. They need stability, big, whatever. So what you do instead is, I call, hi, my name is James Shepard. I have a quick question for you. I'm a vendor, and I'm looking to put in a bid on the payment processing. How would I go about doing that? That's your whole pitch, okay? So you walk into a place, if you already know it's multiple location, that's your whole pitch. You call their corporate office, you're gonna find out, hey, where's the corporate office at or whatever, and then that's your whole pitch. Now, what comes before the pitch is the opening. So when you walk into a business and they say, oh, no, we're corporate, or, oh yeah, no, the owner's not here, it's corporate, or they'll say something like that. You always have to ask a follow-up question. Don't ever walk out. You might be walking out on potentially $50,000, $60,000 in profit for yourself. Don't ever do that. Don't ever walk out after they say, oh, it's corporate or whatever. Don't ever walk out. Believe me, you're killing yourself if you do that. Instead, what you say is, oh, I didn't realize that. How many locations do you guys have? Is it like a regional thing or is it nationwide? That's the question. Oh, I didn't realize that. How many locations do you guys have? Is it regional or is it nationwide? You have to ask that question. Please, every time, ask that question. Because sometimes they're going to say, oh, we're nationwide. And when they do, you say, oh, that's awesome. Have a great day. And you leave. You're done. Okay? You're not at a level where you're going to sell a nationwide company. You're just not. So don't even try. I'm not going to spend time explaining why. You're just not. Okay? And the way I know that is because you've never done it before. And you're definitely not going to do it now. So we can talk about that later. If you're working on national accounts, shoot me an email and I can talk to you about that. But now, if they're regional, though, then the next question is, oh, okay. Now, is there like a corporate office? Is there like a main place? Like where is corporate? And they'll say, oh, yeah, they're a couple hours away in this whatever. And then the question is, any idea who I would talk to put in a bid? Like who deals with vendors and bids? Again, it's those words, vendors and bids. They understand what that means. Because they have people all the time that come in that are vendors that, are a food vendor or a clothing vendor or whatever. And they get this all the time. This is like a normal thing. They have a whole process for it. They go through a bid process. Sometimes they only look at bids once a year, once every 2 years, once every 3 years for a certain thing, but that's okay. You get yourself into the bid process and eventually you're going to be evaluated. So that's really it. And then they're going to give you the information. They may not know. If they don't, just get the number for corporate, call them. And then when you get them on the phone, hey, my name is James Shepard. I've got a company. You can say, I've got a company based out of blank, and we're a vendor for payment processing services. Who would I talk to put in a bid for that? And then you talk to the person and just say, hey, I'd like to put in a bid for the payment processing services. How does the bidding process with that work? Are you guys accepting bids now, or is there kind of a schedule to that? So you got to talk about it very, very differently, but that's really about it. Then you're like, well, James, what about the payment processing? It doesn't even matter. And here's why. They're like cold looking at the numbers. They don't care if they like you. They don't care about any of that stuff like normal, the point of sale or whatever. They've already got their own hardware. They own it. They've got their own point of sale system. They don't care about paying $3,000 or $4,000 to switch payment providers to their software vendor. Like none of that stuff matters like it does to the individual business. They've got plenty of money. It's about return on investment for them. So all they care about is the numbers, which is easy. When you get the statement, you got to take it back to your processor. You guys got to look at it together. What can we do? Can we make an exception? One other little tip I'll give you about this though, when you talk to your processor to get an exception made on the pricing, make sure you also talk about an exception to your Schedule A cost. Okay? The processors that are watching this are going to hate me for telling you this, but when you're dealing with somebody that's doing $700,000 a month in volume, and you normally have a Schedule A per item fee of 5 cents or 6 cents, you want to talk to them and you're like, hey, I need a favor. And they're like, yeah, we can bring it down to 5 cents or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, the next question you need to ask before you go pitch that is, how much money am I going to make? Like, are you going to take my cost down to 3 cents? Like, there's got to be some margin in there for you, because I've seen so many people that have spent just months on these big mega deals and then they end up making like $200 a month off of this 27 location, thing. And it's like, whoa, that was a big problem. The processor's making tons of money. You're making nothing. So when you talk to them about an exception to the pricing, if they change the pricing, also talk about the Schedule A. What are your costs? Because you need to understand your margin. All right. If you don't know what your margin is, you don't even understand what I'm talking about, go to instantquotetool.com, instantquotetool.com. Make sure you go through my training course on how to read a processing statement, advanced statement analysis. You'll start to understand a little bit more about that. So this has been a great series so far. This may be my last video. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about a few others, but I'll make them later on. So hopefully you've really enjoyed this, got some good tips. My name is James Shepard. Thanks for watching and listening.